I'm taking over AS Roma for the next 10 seasons, as this club has produced some absolute legends like Daniel De Rossi and Francesco Totti. And they may have just signed their next icon in Rodrigo Mora, but somehow Roma have never won the Champions League. So over the next 10 seasons, I have to build the greatest Roma side of all time, win their first ever UCL, and take over Italian football and turn AS Roma into the world's best team. And in order to become the world's best, we need to complete some challenges like winning 15 trophies for AS Roma. I don't know if any manager in Roma's history has ever done that. The second challenge is we have to win 4 Serie A titles. Did you know AS Roma have only won 3 league titles in their history? Yeah, Juventus own this league, man. And of course, an obvious one, we must win Roma's first ever Champions League. And with Italian football in the mud right now, winning that might be impossible. The next challenge is to create 2 Italian icons, and this is to go ahead and replicate the likes of Daniel De Rossi and Francesco Totti. And the next challenge is huge. It's to have our first ever Ballon d'Or winner here at Roma. I can't believe Totti never won one, but maybe Rodrigo Mora can be the guy to do it. And finally, I've said his name 1,000 times, is create the next Francesco Totti. He must come from the academy, reach a 90+ overall, become our captain, and win the Champions League. But to kick off season number 1, let's find the next Totti. Let's send our scout to Italy for the next 9 months. And we're gonna be looking for either a cam or a striker here. And to replicate Totti, if he's gonna be an attacking mid, he needs to be a shadow striker. But if he's going to be a striker, he needs to be a false 9. And I'll come back to you when I find somebody that is worthy. It could take multiple seasons. But anyways, this is the current Roma side I am taking over. And we are in the 26-27 season, which means we have new transfers like Santiago Castro, Nahuel Molina, Konstantinos Koulirakis, whatever his name is. And of course, Rodrigo Mora wearing the brand new AS Roma kits. And currently, the AS Roma manager is playing a 3-4-2-1 with an attacking mid on shadow striker and the other, interestingly, on half winger. However, I want to achieve this challenge in honor of the greatest Roma team, the 2000 to 2001 Roma side, and that's actually a small change to a 3-4-1-2. And these are all the roles on the left-hand side, but the main one being that shadow striker role for Francesco Totti. And this is the best lineup we can have with these brand new tactics. Malin and Castro up top with Diabala in behind, playing that Totti role for now. But that spot, hopefully in the future, is Rodrigo Mora's. But we could definitely make a lot of improvements, getting a younger center mid to play next to Kone. Even though this Greek center back is brand new, maybe a slightly better center back if we want to win trophies as soon as possible. And maybe even a couple new wingers and a new striker, even though Castro is a new signing. However, it's not that simple because we have our first unexpected event, as we'll get one game-changing event every single season. And the first event is we have been raided. Welcome, Mr. Salinas, but we have some bad news. Some top clubs have poached some of the club's best players, and expect this to happen many times until Roma can at least reach a UCL semi-final. And the first player that has been poached is Man City to Inter Milan for 30 million. And the next player for 50 million is center midfielder Kone, who is going to Man United. And the third and final player is Miles Villar for 60 million, going to Atletico de Madrid. As legendary as this club is, there's always a bigger fish. So this is the squad I am now left with. It looks significantly weaker, but I've also gotten rid of 2 more players here and loaned out a bunch of players. Someone like Pesili can go ahead and fit the Italian legend, and maybe even Tommaso Baldanzi. But with dynamic potential, Man City could have also been a 90 overall. I guess we'll never know. But at least there's good news because we have 173 million to spend. But remember, signing superstars is almost impossible when you don't even have a league title. So taking a look at the squad, I think first things first, we need to sign a brand new keeper. And I wanted to sign Carnesecchi, but he has just joined PSG. No way we convince him now. So I looked around and I have 3 options. The first one is Camille Grabara, 81 overall. Does have a potential of 84, but he wouldn't bring us success right away. It's the same thing with Alex Mede. It would be hard to convince him to take him off of the rivals, but if we do, it'd be great. Or we can go for Emiliano Martinez for 2 seasons, had an 85 overall, and is very cheap. We can win a couple trophies with him as keeper. And for 9 million, he is exactly who I've gone for. I think he is the best available option if we want to try and win the Serie A as soon as possible. I think this is a brilliant signing. So there we go. He instantly improves the side, but there's still a lot of problems here. At least 1 center back and maybe even a second. And I actually want to sign an Italian, and the first player I have is Alessandro Buongiorno, but he is one of Napoli's most important players. I can't steal him without a league title. So that leaves me with Alessio Romagnoli. I know Lazio are rivals, but Roma are the bigger club. Or should should we build towards getting an Italian legend like Lorenzo Pirola, 77 overall, but has bags of potential? Or maybe someone more ready in Matteo Gabbia, who isn't a crucial player for Milan and could be convinced to join? End of the day, for 32 million, I decided on Gabbia. Maybe dynamic potential could get him to a 90 overall one day and help us complete the Italian legend challenge. And I'm actually going to play him over Hermoso since this Greek guy does have a decent amount of potential. And like I said, again, this side looks very average. Lorenzo Pellegrini and Cristante are some good legends from Roma, but we need a banging center mid here. And boys, I would love to sign Davide Fratesi. In real life, he's gone on loan to Lazio, but the game hasn't updated him, so we're gonna steal him. So for 36 million, Davide Fratesi is now a Roma player. He is another one that could reach Italian legend status with dynamic potential. And there we go. He'll be playing on that left-hand side as Pellegrini, of course, is the cap. And I would love to improve the right-hand side, but I want to give Wesley a chance. He has great potential, but Castro is just not good enough yet to start. So we'll be getting a brand new striker. Go for a striker. I'm aware Roma are linked to some amazing players who I am showing on screen now, but a lot of them are wingers, and I want to give Sule and Wesley a season before I maybe go for someone like Rafael Leao, which would be a huge signing. And boys, I have to go for Moise Kean. In real life, he is linked with a move to Como. If he's available, I must sign him, but he's gonna probably cost the rest of our budget here. So for 63 million, here we go. Moise Kean is a Roma player, the best Italian striker in the world, and it's not even close. Again, another player that could become an Italian legend. And there we go. Our squad has improved dramatically. But is this enough to win our first trophy, whether it's a Coppa Italia or a league title? Maybe even in the Champions League, because we're in that competition as well. And what a season for Daniel Malen, 21 goals and 1 assist. While Pellegrini got 13 and 7. 13 and 2 for Keane is a little bit disappointing, but 12 and 15 for Dybala, 8 and 4 for Matthias Sule. However, Artem Dovbyk out on loan scored 18 and 1. Should we convince him to stay at the club? He did exceptional. And I knew Emi Martinez was the right signing with his 16 clean sheets. And look at some of the overalls. 85 rated for Keane. Matthias Sule went up to an 83. Wesley up to an 82. Even Rodrigo Mora went up to a 79. However, he didn't get much game time. Santiago Castro 79 as well. But no, we finished in third place. Just missed out on the league title by 3 points. Are you serious? And we did not partake in the Super Cup just yet. And the Coppa Italia, Napoli have won it, as we got knocked out to Como in the round of 16. Are you serious? But in the Champions League, we finished in the playoff spots. But we beat Aston Villa 3-1. We beat PSG in the Champions League. But in the quarters, we lost to Galatasaray. So close to the semis, like the board mentioned. If we would have done this, we would never get rated again. But it might happen soon. A little bit disappointing that none of my players are in the top 5, top 7 actually, in the Golden Boot race, or even the top assist either, Dybala being the closest. But we got 2 Team of the Season inclusions, Daniel Malen and Mario Hermoso. So far, all of our challenges are still at 0, but I think we took a huge first step in season number 1. If you guys have enjoyed this video so far, subscribe and comment down below who you think will be the Ballon d'Or winner in this video. And to kick off season number 2, we have found Marino Ferraro. That is one of the coolest names I've ever heard. But at just 15, he has a potential of 95 and is in that cam roll. Oh, he is the future Totti as soon as we can sign him. But already, it's time for our next unexpected event, and it's loyalty or future. Rodrigo Mora says, boss, I'm sorry. I know I'm new here, but I must start every game. That's why I joined. I respect that Dybala is a legend of the game and of this club, but it is now my time, so either you start me or I will leave the side. And this is a difficult decision because Dybala is one of our best players, but he has already gone down on -1. But Rodrigo Mora has like upwards of 88 potential and is the future of world football in general. However, if I do decide to go ahead and start Rodrigo Mora, it would mean that I would have to sell Pablo Dybala because he is still worth a lot of money. And if he just stays here, he'll take away even more minutes from Rodrigo. It's a tough decision, but Rodrigo Mora is the future. Thank you for everything, Dybala. You should go somewhere else where you will play every single game still. But he's not the only one, as I am going to be selling a couple more players here, as well as continue to loan out young talent like Nicolo Bisili. So there we go. Dybala has gone to Bayern for 42 million. However, something I forgot to mention, Wesley has gone to AC Milan. Because this video is realistic, if a bigger club than Roma come in for our players, we have to sell them up until, like I mentioned, we win the Serie A. But here are the rest of our sales anyway, and also our loan deals, which has now given us 235 million to spend. So our squad actually looks a tad bit weaker on that right hand side. We could move Malen to the right, but he was our top goal scorer, so he has to stay there. So I have a different idea. I'm gonna go ahead and change Matthias Sule to a right midfielder, and there you go. He has maintained his overall, and that is his preferred side anyways. So that that means on the left, I'm going to sign a brand new left winger. And like I said, they're linked to a bunch. And the question with Dovbyk is I'm actually going to keep him for a season. And out of Dovbyk, Castro, Keenan Malen, whoever scores the least will be the one that gets sold. I definitely want a new center mid and arguably another center back. I like this Greek guy. But if we want to start winning trophies, we need somebody better now. But first, that left mid. The first one is Malik Fofana. Has bags of potential, but is the weakest one in this shortlist. The second one is Gabriel Martinelli. He is the backup at Arsenal, and I'm sure we'll be able to convince him. However, I think he could be a little bit inconsistent. But so can Rafael Leao. However, one, we get to steal him from our rivals, and two, he has a lot of Serie A experiences and wants to leave Milan. So for 52 million, Rafael Leao is joining AS Roma. I think this might be one of the biggest signings in our history. But the question is, can he go back to his prime? And what a huge improvement on that left-hand side, man. I hope he can score a lot of goals as well. But before we continue with the other signings, I want to bring in Neymar Jr. for multiple reasons. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to bring him in on a loan here from Newcastle. They should say yes. Oh, 1 year. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Yes, Neymar will be joining soon. So here we go. Neymar is joining AS Roma. One, we need a backup for Mora because our youngster is still 15 years old. Two, at 35 years old, he's gonna continue to decline and not take much minutes for Mora. And that's why we only got him for 1 year because our next top team might be ready next season. So there you go. He joins the bench. He'd rather live in Rome than in Tyneside over there in England. Come on, let's be realistic. And in terms of center mids, I have shortlisted Cesare Casade, who used to play for Chelsea, and Samuele Ricci, who is a backup option at AC Milan. And for 32 million, I decided on Ricci, another opportunity to weaken our rivals. And next season, surely he'll be starting over Pellegrini, who's about to start declining. The perfect signing. And another Italian means another chance to create an Italian legend. I wonder who the 290 overalls are going to be. So Samuel Ricci will be on the bench for now. And finally, the last spot, like I mentioned, is that center back spot. And I want to bring in Jose Maria Jimenez. Yes, he's 32 years old. And as he now joins for 17.5 million from Atletico de Madrid. Not only is he a huge improvement in the defense, but because he is older, Koulirakis will still be able to grow and eventually take that spot. And to be honest, this team looks a little bit weaker, but it has gotten so much younger. So hopefully this season we can at least win one singular trophy. But all eyes are on Rodrigo Mora as we're going to give him the shadow striker. He basically made us get rid of Paulo Dybala, so let's see how real that talent is. But I have reached my first final against AC Milan in the Coppa Italia. And they have the top goal scorer in Marco Cucurella of the entire competition. But they have the likes of Gokalo Ramos, Jashari. They stole Wesley from us. Pulisic, Santi, Rabiot. That's a great team. But can I get my first trophy as Roma manager? Sule is out injured and it's a 2-0 victory. We win our first trophy. That is 1 out of 15. But somehow in the league we finished in 5th place. We're out of the Champions League next season. And we failed to win the Super Cup as well as we lost in the semis to Napoli. But in the Champions League we improved just a bit still in the playoffs as we beat Sporting 6-2 but lost to Inter in the round of 16. This is not good, man. We're still far away from winning the Champions League. But Daniel Malin was close to the Golden Boot. Well, at least I know I'm not selling him of all people. And there we go. Someone is in the top assist. Rafael Leao. What a signing. But the squad looks incredible. Moise Kean 86. Daniel Malin 84. Sule 84. Ooh, Rodrigo Mora a +4 as well. Fratesi 84. Leao 85. Jimenez already went down. But look at our Greek freak. 83 overall. He's a starter now. And boys, I can tell you, I'm pretty sure Dovbyk lost. He had an ACL injury. He's gone next season. I'm sorry for being harsh. But it's 26 goals from Moise Kean. 23 for Daniel Malin. 20 and 15 for Pellegrini. Yo, I'm sorry for judging him early. He's still gonna be starting. 11 and 16 for Leao. 10 and 10 for Fratesi. 10 goals for Castro. That's what I wanted from him. However, 5 and 1 for Rodrigo Mora. That is a bit disappointing. But to be honest, he has drastically improved his shooting, so hopefully he can get more goals next season. But look who is ready. A +4 to a 62. Now at 16. It's time to promote him to the senior team. As De Ketelaere is the player of the season, and this time Leao and Gabbia make the team of the season. But to kick off season 3, we already have our first unexpected event, and that is Double Swoop. Evan and Dicka says, "Boss, we want to thank you for everything, but Malin and I have received offers from PSG, and this will not only change our lives as players, but as humans. So unfortunately, we'll be leaving the club. We wish you the best of luck. So for 50 million, Evan Ndika, one of our leaders, is now joining PSG. And for another 50 million, Daniel Malin is also joining Paris. It sucks because I know they won't be starters, but PSG just have a lot of money to give them. But not only them two, as Matthias Sule is being poached by Barca. So as we lose him to Barca for 70 million and Tommaso Bodanzi to Inter, and we have sold a couple more players and continue to loan out some guys. But Nicolo Pisili would now be part of the squad, and hopefully he can start one day. So we're gonna go ahead and give him the playmaker role to improve his passing, dribbling, and shooting. And well, notice how Marino Ferrano has not been loan listed. It's because he also has to be a one club man if he wants to apply for the Totti replacement. So we could never sell him, so let's hope he improves his 59 shooting, as he's the backup to Rodrigo Mora. But this is what our squad looks like. I think we need a brand new goalkeeper. I think Martinez let us down, and that's why we finished 5th. He's already declining. We definitely need a brand new right mid, a backup left mid for Leo, and somebody to compete with Castro, because I'm not sure if I fully trust him yet. And of course, a center back, because Jimenez is also going down already. The goalkeeper I want to go for is Solakis. Has returned to Olympiacos because he went to Hull City. As we do have 375 million to spend, so we should have more than enough money. Let's try 45 million, and they say yes. So for 45 million, we bring in another Greek player to really match well with one of our center backs. And with 86 potential, he might be the future goalkeeper of this club. Now, he is a bit of a downgrade, but just trust me, he will go up this season. Let's go ahead and find a center back next. And I think Pirola might be ready, but there is Giorgos Calvini, who has more potential and is still at Atalanta. We're a bigger club than them. And for a whopping 60 million, I think he is the guy, guaranteed to become one of the legends that reach a 90 overall. I just hope we can win the Serie A on time, so he never leaves. There we go, same overall as Jimenez, so of course he's starting. And another quick signing for 67 million, I brought in Malik Fofana to be the backup for Leao. So as he joins the bench, it's time for the two most important signings this season, the starting right mid, and somebody to compete with Santi. And the perfect Sule replacement has to be Yankuba Minte. Hasn't been swooped up by a big team, so we could definitely get him. So for 75 million, we have made it happen. The former Brighton man is going to be sensational. Another player I don't want to lose, so we need to win the Serie A. And I think for the striker spot, I have to go for Charles de Catalare. He was the player of the season in the league, and nobody swooped him up. So for the second and final time this season, we have little bro at Atalanta. We're a bigger club. Come on, it's Roma. But it's time to win the Europa League and make sure we finally secure our first Serie A title. A change of position has got him down to an 83, but like I said, he's competing with Castro for the spot. As Jacobo Mente also joins the side, this team looks so much better. Everyone's above an 82 except Scalvini. We're definitely winning trophies this year. Yes, we have reached the Europa League final, beating Alexa Fenerbahce, Ajax, and even Frankfurt along the way. And I knew Charles de Catalare would be an incredible signing. He's the top goal scorer, but they're leading with Richarlison. That's hilarious. 15 goals for him, 13 for Mohamed Kudus, 11 for Dominic Solanke, 9 for Matthias Tel, 7 for Kulusevski, 5 and 14 for Sandro Tonali. I would love to win my first European trophy. We got Fratesi out injured, and it's going to be a 3-2 win. Leo Moiskin and our Greek freak getting the goals. We win our second trophy. But yes, we also win our first league title, our first out of... But yes, we win our first Serie A title. That is our first of 4, which means now we can sign some players from the world's best clubs. But of course, not the very best yet. And we just failed to win our first Super Cup, but it's back-to-back Coppa Italias for me. So that now gives us a total of 4 trophies. 11 more left to go. And Charles de Catalare finishes 4th, but Moiskin wins the Golden Boot. He's on his way of becoming an Italian legend. And he is slowly approaching that 90 at an 87, 84 for de Catalare, 86 for Rodrigo Mora. Minte remains at 85. Dude, how is Pellegrini still going up and overall? This is insane. Leao 88, Greek Freak 86, Scalvini 85, Gabbia 87. Ferrano went up a +5 and Pisili went up a +2. I'm excited for their futures. But look at Moise Kean, 29 goals and 2 assists, 28 and 11 for de Catalare, 19 and 10 for Leao. What a signing. 17 and 19 for Pellegrini, 15 and 4 for Fratesi. There we go, Rodrigo Mora, 12 and 15 for him. That's what I wanted. While the rest of the side did not look too shabby. And once again, a new season, a new unexpected event. And this one is called Unfortunate Dreams. First of all, Gabbia says, "Boss, thank you for it all. But now that I am a world-class player, my dream was to always become AC Milan captain, and it's coming true as they have come to re-sign me. But the one that hurts even more is Rafael Leao. As you know, boss, you saved my career, but now my dream club, Man United, want me, and sadly, I will be leaving. So for 60 million, only Matteo Gabbia is rejoining Milan. At least we made our money back, but we're losing a huge player. For 90 million, Rafael finally goes to Man United, the club of his dreams. I don't blame him, to be honest. So, of course, the squad does in fact get weaker. But remember, we can now sign amazing players because we finally won the league. So I think up first, I'm gonna go for a center back for sure to start. And then go for a left mid that could compete with Fofana, not necessarily start over him. And just perfect timing, man. I can finally go for Buongiorno. But he wasted his career at Betis. Let's save him over here. And surprisingly, it only costs 40 million. He is 30 years old, has a lot of room to grow. Another candidate for the Italian legend. I love bringing Italian players here. So there we go. At an 86 overall, he's only an overall lower. And I think the perfect competition is Asane Diao for Malik Fofana. But I also want to bring in Ryan. I have to take this opportunity. He's still at Bournemouth, and he will compete with Yakuba Minte. So for 90 million, we're bringing in Asane Diao playing for Wolves. We haven't even signed somebody from a big side. And for 100 million, we are signing Ryan. We've spent a lot of money, but we've sold so many players for a lot of money as well. Asane Diao is actually going to be the starter for now, while Ryan was set on the bench because Minte was here first. But this is how you win league titles. This is how you compete for Champions Leagues with a squad like this. But we have a UEFA Super Cup final against PSG. And let's take a look at their attackers. Endrick, Daniel Malin, Ousmane Dembele, Doué, Mbaye, Bradley Barcola, Kevicha Kvaratskhelia. Tonight will show if we're ready to win a Champions League this year. I would love to add another trophy to my CV, and Roma have never won this trophy. It's a 3-2 loss. We just missed out on the trophy. And another great season for Moise Kean. 22 goals, 20 and 16 for Rodrigo Mora, and 19 and 17 for the Catalare, 15 and 1 for Santiago Castro, 14 and 4 for Ryan, who's outdone Minte, 7 and 10 for Fratesi, 6 and 8 for Richie, and here are the rest of the stats. Minte only got 4, while Asane Diao only got 2 and 3 here, and Fofana did somehow worse. Hey, but Marino finally played his first couple games, 2 games. That is not bad. And he's gotten up another +5 to a 72. That 95 potential is really carrying him here. But 88 rated Moise Kean, 2 more ratings, and we get our first legend. 86 the Catalare, 89 Rodrigo Mora, Ryan starting now at an 87, Diao 85, Fratesi 87, Pellegrini 84. The backline is incredible, including the keeper. And Pisili is now at an 83. He might be that second legend that we need. However, boys, I run into a problem. Kumbula, Gilliard, and Jimenez wanting new contracts. But we have no money left. We're losing 3 center backs next season. And that will only leave us with our starting 3. We need to sign some next season. But it's our second league title. Let's go. 2 more left to go. We still have not won our first Super Cup, but we win another Coppa Italia. And in the Champions League again in the playoffs. Are you serious? But we beat Sporting once again. Around a 16, we lose to Arsenal. We can't get past around a 16, man. As Desiree Doué wins the Ballon d'Or, we're gonna start checking because our players are getting to that level. But so far, we have 6 trophies, 2 Serie A titles, and everything else at 0. But those 2 icons are getting very close there. A new season, another unexpected event, as this one is huge news. Hello, Mr. Salinas. We have the unfortunate news that this season, we will not allow you to make signings because we've spent a lot of money and we must avoid a transfer ban. Boys, that is terrible news. I understand the precaution, but we only have 4 center backs in the side. That might cost us some trophies. But that wasn't all. Apparently, many players have come to them and said if this club does not make the UCL semis, they will be leaving the club. And that's bad news because it could be someone like Solakis, the Greek Freak, or Rodrigo Mora. Or maybe it isn't bad. It is just some of these role players. So we can't make any signings. I want to make one decision though, and that is convert Samuel Richie to a center back, and that has given them a -6, but we need the squad depth just for this year. But I need to make sure this wage stuff never happens again. We need to get rid of Emi Martinez. He's just eating up wages while everybody else is kind of irreplaceable. I can't get rid of anyone else. But 380k a week is crazy. You know what? Let's just release him, man. I'm sorry, Emi. We cannot risk it. And so far, we are sitting at the top of the league in the Champions League, where we beat RB Leipzig 7-3 in the round of 16. And in the quarters, we're 1-0 up against Barca. A win here will make sure our players stay. And we might even win the Champions League this year or the next. But it won't be easy with Victor Osimhen the top goal scorers and Charles de Ketelaere right behind them as well. But he has 29 in all comps. Fedmin with 25. Matthias Sule, remember, he left us for them. Do they still have Lamine Yamal? Of course they do. Who else would have him? Come on. All we need is at least a draw. Keane and Scalvini are injured, but we should still go to the semis. It's a 3-1 loss. Mora scores the only goal. Some players will be leaving the club. Please don't tell me it's our great ones. But at least we win another league title. Only 1 loss. 1 more left to go. But I can't help but think who's gonna leave us. And we still haven't won a Super Cup. Are you serious? Losing to Juventus. And it's our 3rd Coppa Italia. We had 2 more trophies as we now have 8 going into season 6. And this time it was the Catalare with 31 goals and 14 assists, 27 and 21 for Mora, 20 goals for Moise Kean, 14 and 11 for Fratesi, 13 goals for Castro, 11 and 9 for Ryan. Even Pisili got amongst the goals. And Ferrano played 7 games this season. He's getting more game time. And yes, Moise Kean reaches a 90 overall. He's our first Italian legend. We will take that. The Catalare 89. Mora's now at a 91. 89 Ryan. 84 Pisili is now the captain and starter. Malik Fofana takes his place back. Oh my days. 92 for our Greek freak. And Solaki's at a 91. How did we keep getting knocked out, man? Ferraro went up another +5 to a 77. And the squad is looking overall good, as Desiree Doué wins back-to-back Ballon d'Ors. So now with 8 trophies, 3 Serie A titles, and our first Italian icon, I'm confident we can complete these challenges. But in season 6, the first player to leave is Rodrigo Mora for 150 million. Oh, this one hurts. This is the first one and it hurts the most. He was supposed to be our Ballon d'Or winner. And the next departure for 90 million is Solakis. Our Greek freaking goal goes to PSG. That's our 3rd player to go to that club. And finally, for 110 million, it's our other Greek player, our Greek center back. 92 overall. He surpassed his potential, and now he's going to City. I was actually hoping our forwards would leave, but our defense is being destroyed right now. So our squad does look significantly weaker, but it's still pretty strong at the core. But it's now time for the unexpected event, and it's Rising Star. And it's our wonder kid, Ferrano. Hello, boss. I saw Mora has just left the club, and I was wondering if I can have a chance to start all season. I've been working hard behind the scenes, but I understand if you want to sign someone. I'll be waiting for my chance eventually. So the question is, if we start Ferrano, we could get him closer to replacing Totti, but it might take us longer to reach the Champions League. But if we sign someone, we can win the UCL soon. But you know what? He looks decent enough. We're gonna start him, and we're gonna give him the advanced playmaker role, because his passing is the only thing that's... But with basically unlimited money, we definitely need to bring a goalkeeper, and maybe like 2 center backs, as I'm gonna keep Richie as a center back for now. Hey, they still are goalkeeper. I need to bring in Carnesecchi. So for only 32 million, the 31-year-old joins the side, but we know keepers continue to grow up until like 37. And it's a small downgrade, but Carnesecchi is still good enough to maybe win us the Champions League. And up next for 30 million, I finally bring in Pirola to be a backup center back. And for 70 million, it's another backup center back in John Martin from Real Sociedad, 84 rated, Spanish defender. And finally, for another 70 million, the starting center back is going to be Mark Pupil from Atletico de Madrid. These signings can help us try at least get to the semifinals finally. So there we go. This is the brand new starting 11. Great backups. I even turned Richie back to a center mid, and he's at an 87. But I want Pisili because I think he's also a Roma Academy player, and I would love to have him starting. But as I'm putting development plans, is this the season we win the Champions League? And this time it's Ryan with 28 goals and 12 assists. Charles de Catalare 23 and 12, 19 and 1 for Castro, 17 and 10 for Fratesi, 17 goals for Kean, and 7 goals for Ferraro in his first starting season. But Davide Fratesi has reached the 90, which means we complete our 2 Italian legends. But he wasn't the only one. Samuel Ricci is also a 90, so take your pick. We have 3 now. But the Catalare 90, a +7 for Ferraro to an 84, 91 Ryan, Pisili 88, Fofana 86. Him and Dia are really fighting for that spot. 86 Pupil, 87 Scalvini, 89 Buongiorno, and the rest of the squad looks pretty great. I think this is the first time we get a Golden Boot winner tied with Franco Mastantuono. That's actually shocking. But he gets a player of the season. I want somebody to win it from our team. But look at this. 4 players in the team of the season are from Roma. And yes, we win our 4th league title. That challenge is done and over. And we still have not won the Super Cup. Are you serious? And we win another Coppa Italia. But in the Champions League this time, we finish in 3rd. Round of 16, we smash Salzburg. Quarterfinals, we beat Leipzig. We're finally in a semi-final. But we lose to Barca. But at least we don't have to sell anybody anymore to top clubs, unless an unexpected event makes us. As Lamine Yamal wins the Ballon d'Or. But hey, we're getting much closer to having our Ballon d'Or winner. And in season 7, I think this team is perfect. It's not missing anybody, but I'm going to sign 1 player. And that is going to be Sebastiano Desplanches in case Carnesecchi gets injured. So for 20 million, he now joins AS Roma. He will be the backup. Carnesecchi and Solakis never really got injured in these past couple seasons. points, so I think we're fine. But it's time for the next unexpected event, and it's gotta get the bag. Hey boss, want to let you know that this is my last year in Rome. I want to get that bag in Saudi before I call it a day. Want to say thank you for making me a legend and proud to have been a Roma player. So at 32 years old, Moise Kean will be leaving at the end of the season to Saudi. I want to send him to Saudi with a UCL trophy. And it's another Serie A trophy. Not that it matters. We still didn't win a Super. You can't be serious, man. But it's another Coppa Italia, man. And we finished in third place in the UCL. Round of 16, we beat Bilbao. Quarterfinals, we beat Frankfurt. And semifinals, we beat City as we face Atletico. In the UCL final, we have finally made it. But we don't have a top goal scorer in the top 5. But Charles de Ketelaere is right there. But they have Semenyo, who only has 17 goals in our comps. Lookman with 16, 13 and 14 for Hujmalan. Thiago Almada with 10, 10 for Jesus Rodriguez. Camarda with 10, who I was planning to replace Kean with if we don't win the Champions League this year. But the challenge can end tonight if we win. But de Ketelaere with 32 goals and 24 assists. Surely that's a Ballon d'Or win. 30 and 20 for Ryan. 14 goals for Castro. 13 and 10 for Pisili. 13 and 10 for Fratesi. 12 and 1 for Ferraro. Not bad. As Moise Kean picked up a big injury playing only 14 games. But everyone's back for the final as Ferraro is a 90. But that doesn't complete the challenge yet, as he needs to become the captain and win us the Champions League. But this might be it. Let me know down below who was the best signing. But come on, please don't make it look awkward. Let's win this game. 2-0 victory as Castro and Ryan score the goals. We complete the UCL win and we have the next Totti. As we fill the trophies, did we have a Ballon d'Or winner? And yes, Charles de Ketelaere is the one to win the Ballon d'Or. And if you guys enjoyed this video, click on this video right here. I'm sure you're gonna love it. And let me know down below who to do next.